Now that you've seen me decipher a couple of mystery relations for you, I'd like you to decipher one. So I've defined here a three-way relation, a ternary relation, relating three gnats together. And I'd like you to figure out what it is. The structure of your solution will be fr is going to be some function that corresponds exactly to r, in the sense that r relates mn and o. If fr applied to mn yields o. Right, so this is analogous to, I believe we called it listnum, where listnum relates L to N if the length of L is equal to N. So in this sense, a ternary relation is like a binary function. The way that there, a binary relation was like a unary function, a function that takes one argument. So looking at this, what are you going to do? What are your strategies for figuring out what's going on here? I think the first place to start always is playing with some examples. So I would say, okay, ask yourself, what can we find? So like what are some relations to find? If you're stuck, see, can you find R112? Does this hold or not? What about R226? Does this hold or not? Right, and then after that, try to make up your own and start to see, well, can you predict what it's going to be? Now, maybe you'll be able to predict it, but you still won't know exactly which function it is. But okay, fine, you're making progress. Another question that you can ask, a set of questions that we've asked in the past, would be, okay, which of the constructors do you need? Do you need C5? If you removed C5, would that be the same relation? Because that might help you understand what's going on. If you removed C4, would that be the same relation or no? Because that might help you understand what's going on. Do you need both of C2 and C3? Tough to say. Hard to know what's going on. So I think playing around with this is really key. I would say spend at least 15 minutes playing around with this. Checking these kinds of things should be relatively fast, right? To see that something doesn't hold, you ought to be able to just do some number of inversions. Though maybe you have to be careful about how you do it. And to see that something does hold, okay, you'll have to play around with these constructors and see where you get. For determining whether or not you need these constructors, like which ones are important here, that's a harder process. I think as you get more intuition for this relation, you'll start to see like, oh, well, I don't need this. I can do some other thing, just for example. Once you figure it out, what you'll do is you'll write, okay, this is foo, some function, right? Like it's a function we've already defined. You should be able to just name it like this. And then you'll go through it and you'll prove this if and only if. And you'll know you're right when you can prove the if and only if. And if and only if is sort of a complete characterization, right? It's saying that this relation R reflects some function that we've already seen. Okay, I anticipate there will be some questions about this. People always sort of like interesting sort of dilemmas around ways to get forward. Happy to talk about it on Zulip, and I'll see you there. Talk to you soon.